Hello everyone. Today I want to share a deep dive into a TEDx talk that's both informative and inspiring. Use data to build better schools by Andreas Schleicher. We will begin by learning who Andreas Schleicher is, then examine his ideas, how he uses data to improve education, examples from around the world, and the lessons we can apply to our own school system. Andres Sculpture Life Journey. Andres Sculpture is a prominent figure in global education. He is Director for Education and Skills at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. He is best known for initiating and overseeing the Program for International Student Assessment PISA, a global mechanism to measure and compare student achievement in many countries. His educational background skill, Sculpture studied physics in Germany and holds a degree in mathematics and statistics from Australia. Before his current roles at OECD, he was director for analysis at the International Association for Educational Achievement, IEA. He has worked for over 20 years with education minister, school leaders, and policymakers worldwide, prompting not only measuring education but using that data to inform better policies and practices. His motivation seems rooted in seeing education not just as credential or degrees, but as preparation for life, for students to be able to adopt, to think critically, to deal with change. He emphasized that learning is an activity not tied to a place. What is the talk? Core message in this review. The talk are based on the PISA test, what it measures, what the outcomes are, and how that data reveals both successes and failures in different education systems. Skillshare argue that performance in education should be judged not only by how many get degrees or how long students stay in school, but by skills, how well students can apply knowledge in new situation, solve problem, think critically. Also, he stresses equity. It's not enough to have a few high achievers. Systems should aim for both high performance and fairness, minimizing the effect of socioeconomic background on outcomes. Ideas and example. Let's explore the main ideas and examples Skillshare presents. Number one, measuring what matter. PISA does not just test memorization or what students have seen in school. It tests whether students can extrapolate, apply knowledge in new contexts. He points out that many graduates are unemployed while employers still say they can't find certain skills. This mismatch shows that degree don't always equate to relevant skills. Comparative data across countries and systems. He shows chart comparing many countries. Their performance, equity, expenditure per student. Some countries spend a lot but don't get correspondingly high outcomes. Others spend less but do well. The key is how the money is used. Example, Korea versus Luxembourg. Both spend similar amount per student, but Korea invests heavily in teachers training, longer school days. Luxembourg invests in small class size. The outcomes differ. Equity and closing gaps. Some systems show that the social background of a student has large impact. In others, much less. Schleicher emphasize that the best systems are those that combine excellence with equity so students from all backgrounds can succeed. Germany is an example. Schleicher notes that in 2000 Germany was below average on PISA and had large dis- disparities, but using data. Public debts was started. Policies changed, targeting social disadvantage, working with immigrant children, etc. Over time, these changes produce measurable improvement. What high performing systems share from the data, Skillshare, etc., common practice. High respect for teaching professions, good teacher training, professional development, attracting good teachers. Clear, ambitious standards, but also letting teachers have autonomy in how to reach them, not micromanagement, but allowing professional practice to flourish. Expectation believe that all children are capable of successes. High expectation matter. System where citizens, parents expect all students will succeed tend to do better. Consistency in policy over time. Cohen, coherence, coherence, engineering policies so that different parts teacher pay curriculums assessment school leadership all work together limits and cautions. Sculpture is careful to say you cannot copy and paste a system from one country to another. Context matter, culture, resources, values. Also, measuring via PISA has limits. You can see outcomes and some input, but that does not offer every answer implementation, local practices matter. Deep reflection and analysis. Now let's reflect on these ideas more deeply. How data changes beliefs. One of Andreas Schleicher strongest points in is that big credible data can shift what people believe about their education system. When Germans saw how their schools were performing in PISA, that public discussion changed. This decision about investment, teacher training, early childhood education were rethought. Performance via versus equity is a false trade off. Many believe you must sacrifice equity, fairness to get high performance, or vice versa. Sculpture points out systems that do well on both. This challenges a lot of assumption in places where policy may force focus on raising scores for some while ignoring dispar- disparities or ignoring weaker. Spending is not sufficient. How you spend matters more. The data shows that countries with similar spending can have very different results. It's not just about money, it's about teacher quality, instructions time, professional development standards. This has implication. Policymakers should focus on efficient use of resources, not just increasing funding blindly. Agency autonomy, professionalism, high performing system give autonomy to teachers and school not to behave however they want but to adopt and innovate within a strong framework and standards. This stands in contrast to centralized prescriptive system where teachers are told exactly what to do. The latter tends to stifle innovation. Expectation and cultural matter. The mindset of all children can succeed versus only some will do well has deep effects. Policies and practices that foster belief in potential, high expectation, supportive system tend to produce better results. This is not only about a school, it's social. When citizens value education, the political and social environment supports investment and reforms. Change takes time and persistence. Sculpture's examples show that even when change being, results are not always immediate. Germany, Korea, and others show improvement over years when consistent changes happen in teachers' training, early childhood, school leadership, alignment of curriculum. Reforms can take time, need sustained political will. Lesson and implication for practice. So, what can we learn? How can educational leaders, policy makers, teachers, and even students apply these ideas? Here are constraint, constraint lessons. Number one, measures what matters. Focus on assessing skills that matter in life. Critical thinking, problem solving, ability to apply knowledge, less emphasis on rote exam, more on performance in new situation. Number two, use data to identify gaps and inequity. Gather data not only on average performance but also on differences by socio-economic status, region, gender, etc. Then target policies to reduce those gaps. Number three, invest in teachers. Teachers training ongoing professional development, supporting innovation, giving teachers autonomy and resources to succeed. Number four, set clear standard but allow flexibility in how to reach them. Define what good performance looks like, ensure students and schools know these expectations, but let schools and teachers decide how best to get there given their local realities. Number five, align policies across the system. Policies about assessment, curriculum, teachers' pay, school leadership, school hours, etc. need coherence. Disjoint policies often reduce effectiveness. Number six, maintain cultural expectational shifts. Build cultural where education is valued. Parents, citizens have high expectations for all children. Encourage belief that efforts, good teaching, and the right policies can lift everyone. Number seven, monitors progress over time. Be ready to adopt. Use data repeatedly, like PISA, every few years to see whether in reforms are working. And don't assume one reform will fix everything. Learn from what works and what does not. Beware of simply copying from others' countries. While high performing system share traits, what works in one context may not work in another. Adopt innovation rather than replicate completely. Reflection. To wrap up, Andreas Schleicher use data to build better school is more than just a lecture on global education statistic. It's a call to action. It tells us that education system can be held accountable in meaningful ways. We have evidence to guide reform. Excellence and equity need not to opposing goals, but complementary. If we want better schools, whether in Lahore or anywhere else, we must use good data. Believes in all students, empower teachers, align policies, and be presence persistence. I hope this review helped you think not only about what's possible globally, But what might be possible in our own community? How could data help improve our schools? What small change might yield big effects? Thank you for listening. Let's strive to build better school together. Allah Hafiz.